my beautiful soul. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Emily the Mystic, and I am so delighted to have you here for another episode of my Cosmic Connection series, where I interview and channel through the Akashic Records another Galactic Starseed group so that you can get to know this group, who they are, what they represent, and so you can find out whether you perhaps are a starseed from this place in the galaxy. And so, if you are brand new to my channel, if you are watching this Cosmic Connection series for the first time and this video brought you here, welcome. If you are not aware, I am an Akashic Records channeler, and so I tune into the energy of the Akashic Records to channel and connect with these different starseed groups so that I can introduce them to you and you can get to know them better. So I am using my own discernment, my own channeling techniques and tools to interview them. So of course, as with all channel information out there, take what resonates with you and leave the rest. But if you have been watching this exciting series, I cannot wait to introduce you to the beings from Nihal today. I am obsessed with this group of beings. For reasons that are very near and dear to my heart, which I will share with you in a moment. And there isn't a lot out there, honestly, on the internet about this group of beings. So I really was curious about calling them in and getting to know them better. And I was really delighted with what I found out. So I really hope that you feel the same way today and that you find this really interesting. And I wore this sweatshirt for this video on purpose because I feel like this really outlines the energy of the Nihal beings. So yay. So I first found out about the Nihal beings actually because a person very near and dear to my heart, who I will not mention who, but somebody very close to me, had a starseed reading because I do not channel for people in my close to me in my circle because I'm too biased about what could come through. So anyway, so I sent this person to another Akashic Records channeler that I really trust, and it turns out that this person is from Nihal, which was amazing and explains to me so much. And when I brought through the channel information today, I was like, oh wow, I can see a lot of parallels that I wasn't aware of before. So I think you will find this very interesting yourself. The only other Akashic Records person that I am aware of who talks about beings from Nihal, her name is Anna Sace. So I'm going to mention her because I did use her book for a little bit of research for this video in particular. She has a book that's called, I believe it's called What the Akashic Records Say About Starseed Groups. Something around the title, something around those lines. The book is on her website. You can definitely Google it, look for it if you are more interested to read her perspective on some of these different galactic groups. And I am going to be channeling some other groups that she mentions in her book because I want to try to get to know as many as I can. And we're getting deep, we're getting nitty gritty as we're reaching this point in the Cosmic Connection series, which just makes my job even more fun. So anyway, and I will be sharing with you sort of my information, what I've channeled, as well as what I pulled from her book as well, to give you a new perspective on both today. So anyway, let's dive into it. Let me pull up my notes here. Okay, so the beings from Nihal are from the constellation of Beta Leporis. I did not channel that. I had to look that one up because, as with any constellation, it's not something that I would be able to pull through the Akashic Records, but they are from the constellation of the Beta Leporis. And when I call them forward, the beings from Nihal, it's so interesting, you guys, because when they present themselves to me in my mind's eye, they come through literally like this group of eclectic souls. They come forward in all sizes, all shapes, like all body shapes and all skin colors. Green, purple, blue, gray, black, like literally all skin colors, which is fantastic. And some have hair, some don't. Some are wearing really cool, funky clothing. Some are not. Some have fancy colored eyes, some don't. Some have facial hair, some don't. Literally, I mean, what a parallel to us human beings, right? It's pretty interesting and pretty phenomenal. But even more to an extreme, right? Because these are galactic souls, so they really come through with a variety of different facial facial features and interesting ear shapes and eye shapes and mouth shapes and things that I can't even describe using human words. But so they come through in this very eclectic format. A lot of the other groups, if you've been watching this video series so far, they come through kind of looking sort of uniform, similar skin colors, similar hair colors, similar features. The beings from Nihal are truly very all different, which is fascinating. And so when I've been giving you a series of colors to represent the energy frequency of these beings. I mean, Nihal, the main colors that come forward are black, purple, green, and blue. So different colors, different, whole different spectrum of different things, which is really interesting. And the zodiac sign that comes forward for them is Aquarius, which, as you hear the information, totally makes sense. I can't remember if Aquarius was what represented some of the other star being groups that I've talked about before, but truly Nihal is the definition of Aquarius. So Nihal beings, their main values are personal expression, freedom, and independence. Nihal beings are truly the artists and the creatives of the galactic realm. They know who they are, and they are not afraid to be different. They truly dance to the beat of their own drum. To them, they all look different, and they know it, and this is normalized to them. They know, love, and respect all beings of their star system for being different shapes, for being different sizes, for being different colors. They actually celebrate uniqueness, differences, and polarity. And we would love to say that we celebrate uniqueness here on planet Earth, but unfortunately, in a lot of places in the modern world, that just isn't the case. Right? We generally are wary or nervous about people who are different than us. And so it is such a refreshing perspective to talk to these beings from the galactic realm who really celebrate diversity, who celebrate their differences, and who own their uniqueness and the unique perspective that each of them brings to form, their collective consciousness, to bring different perspectives and energies to the table. And it's really interesting because what they shared with me was that they know and understand, they really get polarity. A lot of beings, both here on planet Earth and in the cosmos, know that we live in a universe of polarity, and they kind of shy away from it a little bit. We definitely can shy away from our darker sides here on planet Earth. But the Nihal beings, they appreciate, own, and recognize both the light and the dark. They understand the shadow side of the universe. They even told me that some beings are specifically within their star system are trained to work with, understand, get to know, research malevolent beings, to study them, to understand them, to get to know their consciousness and why they do the things that they do and why they act the way that they act. They truly approach all beings, all forms of consciousness with curiosity. So they celebrate differences. They don't condemn or shun or push away beings, frequencies, perspectives, consciousnesses that are different than their own. They embrace them. They welcome them in. They shine a light on the darkness, but they also welcome the darkness. A really beautiful message in there that we'll talk about a little bit later on about really the Nihal beings encourage us to get to know our shadow sides, to get to know our darker parts, or the parts of ourselves that we may disown or cast aside or ignore because we've been bullied about them, or they were considered unlovable by our parental figures or our teachers. And to really embrace those unique parts of ourselves, to love them, to bring light to them, to bring them into the light and own them and bring healing to those parts of ourselves. So Nihal beings are really revolutionary in their approach to life. Nihal beings really challenge the status quo. if you want to compare them to a generation here on planet Earth, the Nihal beings are very much millennial in the way that they view the world. Of course, much more extreme than that, much more polarizing than that. But if you take a look at the millennials versus baby boomers, the millennials really are challenging the status quo here on planet Earth. And that's what the Nihal beings really do as well. The Nihal beings chose to come to planet Earth, by the way. So if you resonate with being a Nihal starseed, you really have a unique mission and purpose here because you are meant to shake things up. You are meant to do things differently than everybody else. You are meant to dance to the beat of your own drum. You're meant to take a different perspective. You are meant to come in with a different energy, literally, like a different frequency. And maybe you're here to do something that nobody else has ever done before. So truly revolutionary, that Aquarius energy, like here to bring about change, transformation, here to really shake things up. Nihal souls, as starseeds, tend to incarnate on planet Earth with unusual aspects, parts of themselves, such as unusual facial features, unusual appearances, perhaps an unusual perspective on the world, some unusual quirks or ways of doing things, perhaps they really gravitate towards unusual hobbies or create really creative hobbies. They just are able to see things that other people can't see. They are able to have a unique perspective that other people may not understand, may not get. And that's truly what sets the Nihal souls apart from other starseeds, is that they are so unique, individual, different, and that's amazing, and that is to be celebrated. Nihal souls definitely lean towards spirituality as well. And in fact, they may even come into this world really questioning their belief systems or the belief systems that were impressed upon them from their family members. Because the Nihal souls know that things are to be done differently. They know that they have their own unique belief system, their own way of doing things. And so Nihal souls definitely struggle with other people, with authority figures, and with other people trying to tell them what to do. They do not like having somebody else's will imposed on them. So if you struggled in school, if you struggled with teachers, authority figures, other people trying to tell you what to do or who to be or how to dress or how to act, it's very likely that you are a Nihal soul. That's definitely true for other starseed beings as well, but for the Nihal soul, it's like in your blood. And you may even have a strong triggered reaction to other people really trying to tell you what to do. Because Nihal souls are also unique and they really dance to the beat of their own drum, they can struggle with being isolated and struggle with loneliness, even more so than other starseeds. Because Nihal souls feel different from everybody else, and they can struggle to feel seen, heard, and understood by others. So Nihal souls may go through their whole lifetime feeling a little bit separate from everybody else, feeling like they're on the outside looking in, feeling like they can't really get in with the group, or that nobody really gets them. So they may struggle with being bullied, or they may struggle with feeling completely unseen, unheard, ununderstood. Ununderstood, I don't know if that's a word, but you know what I mean, by the people in their life. And it can be hard for Nihal souls to relate to other people in their life as well, and vice versa. They may struggle to make friends, or if they do make friends easily, they may struggle to be themselves within a group. They may become a chameleon and try to become somebody they're not in order to fit in. But eventually, because Nihal souls are so unique and revolutionary, their true selves are going to come out one way or another. It's just inevitable. They can't pretend to be somebody else for that long. It's funny because as I was bringing them through, they were suggesting and recommending that if you identify with being a Nihal soul, put that in the comments and, keep coming back to this video to see if other people comment and say that they're Nihal souls, because perhaps you could make a new connection with somebody else just from this video. You may feel seen and understood by somebody else who's from Nihal. So that could be a really beautiful outlet for you as well, and a new way for you to make some social connections. Nihal souls are also very chatty. They are very quick-witted. They can fill an empty silence with ease. When they came through to me, I was like, whew, so much information. I am typing away on my keyboard. Sometimes for some of the other Starseed groups, I had to pull the information a little bit more out of them. Nihal souls, quick with their information. So they are quite charismatic, really. They are also natural performers. So as a Nihal soul, you may naturally gravitate towards drama, not drama, but being part of a performance, such as being part of the drama club when you were in high school, or wanting to become an actor or an actress, or being on stage. Perhaps that's something that you always felt drawn to do or were interested in doing, or maybe you did do that in your life at some point. It's interesting because the Nihal souls, so interesting. We were talking about polarity at the beginning of this video, right? The mix between light and dark. The Nihal souls can be polarizing also in their opinions, but the way the Nihal soul sees themselves versus how other people see them is also very polarizing. So, for example, the Nihal soul to somebody in the outside world may seem very charismatic, funny, witty, a performer, interesting to spend time with, a joyful person to hang out with. But internally, the Nihal soul may feel awkward. They may feel a little bit, did I say the right thing? They may feel a little bit uncomfortable. The Nihal soul doesn't understand how much fun they are to spend time with, how charismatic they are, and how much people naturally gravitate towards them. So, we're talking about polarization, right? You're either going to feel super attracted to and interested in, not physically, but attracted to mentally, emotionally, to a Nihal soul, but other people may be so repelled by them. So if you resonate with being a Nihal soul, perhaps you really attract people to you easily, you made friends easily, but there are some people that really just do not get you. And so you struggle with, well, am I liked? Am I not liked? Because there are some people who love me, and there are some people over here who just really do not get me. And they're actually rude and mean to me. So that may be a dynamic that you've noticed throughout your life as well. So there's this constant contrast with Nihal souls. Being magnetic as well as repelling others. And that may be a pattern that shows up in their lives in different ways as well. So as a Nihal soul, once you really know how to own your natural performative nature and personality, to own your quirks, your hobbies, your unique appearance, to own your unusual perspectives and perceptions of the world, that's when you're going to become super magnetic. And you are going to lead a movement. You are going to create your own style of spiritual healing. You're going to become an entrepreneur. You're going to really lead others with what you're here to do and to create specifically. But if not, you could become very isolated. You may really struggle to find your footing, to find your place in the world. You may feel really separate from others. And so it's going to take some time and some healing to own your uniqueness, to really love yourself, and to really understand that you are magnificent exactly as you are. You may also really struggle with your shadow as a Nihal soul. You may struggle with owning those parts of yourself that have been cast away by other people. So there may be more healing work for you to do in this lifetime. But again, it's because you are here to do something different. You are here to lead us, lead the world, create something new that has never been seen or done before. And I forgot to mention that Nihal souls are also very naturally musically talented, artistically talented, creatively talented in different ways. You may have all of the above gifts. You may have one gift. You may be very spiritually talented, a natural healer. But one thing is for certain, as a Nihal soul, you are not meant to work in a traditional white-collar 9-to-5 job experience. You will struggle. And if you are struggling in that, I see you, I understand you. And this is your time to do some healing work, to discover what you really want in this lifetime, and to own being your true self. Because you are magical. Yay. Okay, and the last thing that I wanted to bring forward that I thought was really interesting from Anna's Starseed book that I mentioned at the beginning of this video was that she mentions in the book an association with indigo children and crystal children with the Nihal souls. Here's how I feel about that. If you are not aware, indigo souls, crystal souls, rainbow souls were born in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. They are considered to be very intuitive, empathic, sensitive souls with psychic abilities, as are all of us, right? So to me, indigo, crystal, rainbow, they're all just labels that we try to put on different generations that are coming in with intuitive, psychic, empathic gifts. That's just my perspective. When I was a child, I really identified with being an indigo soul, even though I was born in the 90s. And now that I recognize that, it's just a label to put on my intuitiveness, my sensitivity, my empathy. And it has helped me understand, myself a little bit more in that way. But anyway, I digress. So in Anna's book, she mentions that Nihal souls are indigo, crystal, rainbow souls. However, I personally believe that as a starseed being, you are going to be an indigo soul, a crystal soul, a rainbow soul, whatever label you want to put on it. And you may be from anywhere in the galaxy. You're not necessarily just going to be from Nihal. I definitely identify with a lot of the characteristics of the Nihal soul, but for me, that's not my main point of origin. Mine's the Blueprinters. If you haven't watched that video, go check it out. So if you resonate with being an indigo, crystal, rainbow child, and being a starseed, amazing. They're just different terms to help us understand who we are and our gifts. But that may not necessarily mean that you are from Nihal. and vice versa. I mean, I personally believe that all of us starseeds are indigos, crystals, rainbows, whatever label you want to put on it. We're all intuitive, empathic, psychic, etc. So, I hate to burst your bubble if you really identify with one of those terms. I definitely identified with being an indigo for a long time. And I feel that as if I really identify more with being a starseed. And that's just sort of more of an umbrella term to recognize and understand who these different groups are. I hope that makes sense. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting. Interesting little fact, piece of information to share with you. Okay, this video has been long enough. Thank you so much for sitting down. Oh, they're not saying sitting down. They're saying dancing with the souls from Nihal today. I hope you enjoyed their energy frequency and their messages. I think they are really potent. I think they are really inspiring. I think they are really impactful. I think that the whole world could learn a lot from the Nihal souls. And so if you identify with being a Nihal soul, you are really here to lead a revolution. You are here to inspire change. Know that. Know that you're here to create something really new that nobody else has done before. Yay! I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you comment below if you resonate with being a Nihal soul or any insights that resonated with you from this video. And I will see you next week in the next Cosmic Connections video. Goodbye.